Today, we're diving deep into one of the most puzzling and heartbreaking cold cases in recent American history, the disappearance and death of Alonzo Brooks. This case has haunted Kansas for over a decade and remains a chilling reminder of the unanswered questions surrounding many missing persons and homicide investigations. Let's explore who Alonzo Brooks was, what happened the night he disappeared, the investigation that followed, and the latest developments in the case. Alonzo Brooks was a 23-year-old African-American man from La Signa, Kansas. Described by friends and family as kind-hearted, lively, and full of life. Known for his love of dancing, music, and spending time with friends. He worked various jobs and was well-liked in his community. Brooks was a regular at social gatherings, often attending parties and events with friends. The night of the disappearance, May 3, 2004. On the night of May 2, 2004, Alonzo attended a party in La Signa, Kansas, hosted by a group of young adults. The party was a typical rural gathering with music, dancing, and alcohol. Alonzo arrived with friends and was last seen around midnight. After midnight, his friends realized he was missing. Despite searching the area and calling out for him, no one could find Alonzo that night. He did not return home, and his family became concerned when he failed to contact anyone. Initial search and investigation. Local law enforcement launched a search operation immediately after Brooks was reported missing. Officers combed nearby woods, fields, and roads but found no sign of Alonzo. The party guests were questioned extensively, but no one could provide a clear account of what happened. Police faced challenges due to the rural location and lack of witnesses. The area where the party took place was known for having dense woods and uneven terrain, complicating the search. Over the next few weeks, volunteers and family members helped in the search efforts. Despite exhaustive efforts, no clues were found. Discovery of Alonzo Brooks' body. Nearly 2 months later, on June 18, 2004, Alonzo's body was discovered in a creek about 15 miles from the party location. His body was found submerged in a shallow creek near the town of La Signa. Brooks was naked when found. Initial reports described his body as showing signs of trauma. The discovery shocked the community and reignited the investigation. Autopsy results revealed blunt force trauma to the head as the cause of death. The condition of the body suggested foul play, ruling out accidental drowning. Theories and speculation. From the beginning, the case was filled with mystery and unanswered questions. Why was Alonzo Brooks' body found far from the party location? Who was responsible for his death? Various theories emerged. Some speculated that the party had turned violent. Others suggested racial motives, as Alonzo was the only black person at the party. A few believed it was an accident covered up by those present. The involvement of drugs or alcohol possibly clouding memories and actions. Family and friends suspected that someone at the party knew more than they were letting on. Investigation challenges and controversies. The initial investigation was criticized for lack of thoroughness. Some family members felt the police did not fully pursue leads. There were concerns about potential racial bias in the handling of the case. The small town's close-knit community may have influenced witness cooperation. The party guests gave conflicting statements. Some evidence was reportedly overlooked or mishandled. Over the years, calls for reopening the case grew louder. Media coverage was limited initially, keeping the case under the radar nationally. Renewed interest and efforts to solve the case. In 2017, the case gained new attention after investigative journalists and advocates highlighted the unresolved nature of Brooks' death. A documentary and news specials brought national focus. The Kansas Bureau of Investigation, KBI, re-examined the evidence. Modern forensic techniques, including advanced DNA testing, were applied. New interviews with witnesses were conducted. Several persons of interest were identified, but no charges were filed. The KBI continues to treat the case as a homicide. Impact on the community and family. The Brooks family continues to seek justice. The case has brought awareness to issues of missing persons, especially in minority communities. It highlights the difficulties families face when cases go cold. Community members formed groups advocating for better resources for cold case investigations. The story has inspired calls for change in how rural and minority victim cases are handled. The emotional toll on the family remains immense. Current status and future prospects. As of now, Alonzo Brooks' case remains officially unsolved. Investigators have stated they are still open to new tips and evidence. Advances in forensic science could potentially unlock new leads. The family hopes that public awareness will encourage witnesses to come forward. The case serves as a reminder of the need for persistent efforts in unsolved deaths. Law enforcement agencies emphasize the importance of community cooperation, unsolved cases and cold case investigations. Alonzo Brooks' case is one among many cold cases that haunt communities. Cold cases pose unique challenges: lack of evidence, fading memories, lost witnesses. Renewed technology and public involvement often help solve decades-old cases. Families rely on media exposure and advocacy groups for justice. The case exemplifies the ongoing struggle against violence, racial injustice, and systemic shortcomings. It underlines the importance of support networks for victims' families. The mystery of Alonzo Brooks remains one of Kansas' most haunting cold cases. Despite the passage of time, the search for truth and justice continues. His story calls on all of us to remember the forgotten victims and push for a safer, more just society. Alonzo Brooks was recognized by those around him as a warm, friendly, and outgoing individual. These personal qualities contributed significantly to his social life and the way he was perceived within his community. People who knew him described him as kind-hearted and approachable, with an easygoing nature that helped him form friendships quickly. His social interactions often revolved around group settings such as parties, community events, and gatherings. These environments suited his personality, which thrived on social connection and shared experiences. Dancing and music were integral parts of his social expression, reflecting his vibrant and lively character. Social environment and community. Living in La Signa, a small rural town, Alonzo's social environment was closely knit. Such communities tend to foster strong interpersonal relationships and interconnected social networks. The town's limited population meant that social circles were well-defined, and individuals often had long-standing relationships with their neighbors, friends, and family members. Alonzo's involvement in the community was typical of many young adults in similar rural settings. He attended local events, participated in social gatherings, and maintained regular contact with family and friends. These interactions provided both a support system and a sense of belonging. The rural nature of La Signa influenced the kind of social activities available, with outdoor events, house parties, and local celebrations forming the bulk of social life. Alonzo was actively engaged in these types of communal activities, which shaped much of his daily routine and leisure time. Cultural identity and racial context. A significant aspect of Alonzo Brooks' lifestyle was his identity as an African American living in a predominantly white rural community. This demographic dynamic influenced his social experiences, opportunities, and the challenges he faced. The racial composition of La Signa meant that Alonzo was often one of the few African Americans in his immediate social circles. This reality affected his sense of inclusion and may have influenced the way he navigated social situations. Issues of race, implicit bias, and cultural differences were factors in his interactions, both positive and difficult. Despite these challenges, Alonzo maintained strong relationships within his community. His presence highlighted both the diversity within rural America and the complexities of racial dynamics in such settings. His ability to connect with a broad range of people underscored his social skills and resilience. Alonzo Brooks' economic lifestyle was shaped by the realities of rural employment and the opportunities available to young adults in small towns. Like many peers, he held various jobs to support himself financially. These jobs likely included positions in local businesses, manual labor, or service industries. Economic conditions in rural Kansas meant that employment opportunities were often limited, seasonal, or part-time. Young adults like Alonzo typically balanced work with social life and family obligations. His work ethic was noted by family and friends, who saw him as someone striving to improve his circumstances despite challenges. Employment also provided Alonzo with social connections outside his immediate circle, expanding his network and reinforcing his integration into the local economy. The experience gained through his work contributed to his personal development and life skills. Thanks for watching. If you want to watch more this kind of videos, then do not forget like, subscribe and hit the bell icon.